All right, buddy. Welcome to the podcast.
Wow.
This is
I'm so happy to be here.
this is crazy.
This
So
is
usually how I start.
Happy New Year. Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year to you too.
We're
After
still
what
saying,
point do you not say Happy New Year?
I don't know. I think January is a good
Yeah.
to say
After
Happy New Year.
January
After
6th,
January,
I
it
don't
stops.
say Happy
Yeah,
New Year
yeah,
anymore. So how we start is what's your name? How many kids you have, and what do you do for a living?
Okay. So Demetri James, 2 kids, and I work in talent industry.
Let's hear it. What does that even mean?
The story's crazy. It started from being a singer, writing songs, working at the HMV, which, for those people that used to buy CDs.
I know it, yeah.
Cassettes.
Yeah.
We go way back.
Seriously.
Kind of giving away my age right now. Worked at a record label,
Which one?
EMI.
I worked at SPG.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Shams, right?
Shams.
Yeah.
Dirty Shams, baby.
Yeah. Well, Shams popular.
Yeah,
Kinda, we're in the same kind of arena. And just decided I wanted to be a singer. All I ever wanted to do was be a singer. And I remember my grandmother used to say, "Listen, learn an instrument. I'll pay for it. Go for it." I'm like, no. I just want to be a singer. I just want to be a singer. In hindsight, I wish maybe I did learn an instrument because it would have definitely helped with the songwriting, with the, performance and all of that jazz.
So at what age did you know you wanted to become a singer?
So people don't know this, but my father was a singer.
Cool.
He used to sing in a Greek band.
Oh, wicked.
And he used to take me to, some of these shows and whatnot. And I just started gravitating and singing. And then I think it was probably when I was about 15 that I wrote my first song. A song called Love at First Sight, actually. Had nothing to do with any love that I knew of, just something that I kind of concocted in my brain. And that song actually came out probably a year, 2 years later. It was a freestyle song. But again, a lot of people don't know.
Oh, that's
For
cool.
the Stevie B lovers and, Johnny O lovers,
Yeah.
I was a freestyle guy in the very, very beginning.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So there's so much to dissect.
I
but
know.
First of all, obviously your dad had a big influence on you
Yes,
becoming
yes,
a singer.
yes.
Was he happy that you ended up following his footsteps for that period, or?
I don't think so. Not so much. My dad was kind of given an ultimatum by my mom. It was kind of like, listen, do the band thing or stay home and take care of the kids and your family.
Okay.
And I think my dad, chose family.
Okay.
And
I think we have visitors. Do we? Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. But I mean, obviously, when your father's, in the basement and he's singing and stuff like that, and he's got a microphone, you're curious and you're down there and you're doing the same thing. And I just loved music. I think just naturally fell into loving music, and that's all I ever wanted to do. It's funny because I have 2 kids, and I asked my oldest daughter, just 14, what do you want to do when you grow up? And she's like, why are you asking me this, Dad? I'm like, because I knew what I wanted to do when I was 14. I went, I got into working at a record label because I went there for co-op.
Okay.
Right. So my thought process was, listen, I love music, but I always need something to fall back on. And I just always had a love for marketing.
Cool.
So
Did you work at a marketing company? How did you transition?
I went to school for advertising.
Okay.
But while I was working at the label, there was a bunch of mergers and acquisitions that were taking place. And it was just a funny place to be at the time. I was like, you know what, maybe I should step away from it for a bit. There's so many things. They say when you die, you have all these flashes that come at you.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what type of flashes are going to come at me because I've done so much, and you start to show how grateful you are. It's been a huge journey to get to this point, to this seat, to this conversation.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So, by the way, your dad, can we find him on YouTube?
No. This was like Greek bands and just local dances and stuff like that. He never really went professional. He never, he sings at home all the time and stuff
Amazing.
like that. But he never decided to put out his own song or anything of that nature.
Cool. So you started singing. I know you were a part of a band.
I was.
You want to name it?
Brattt Pack.
How did you come up with the name? Because when I did research on you, there was other things that came up. I don't know if it was a 60s band or whatever the case was, but there was something else, or a TV show, Brattt Pack.
Yeah. So my brother is influenced by the whole mafia culture,
Okay.
the movies, Godfather and all that stuff. And he loves, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all those guys. And they were in a band called the Brattt Pack.
Okay, I remember.
And he used to show me, videos and different things in regards to that band. And it always looked like they were having a good time. And I just thought, Brattt Pack, Brattt Pack. It's like, we're going to be the Brattt Pack. It just had a really nice ring to it. And, for those that know, we put 3 T's at the end of Brattt
Yeah,
because it
I
was
saw.
3 members of the band. But so anytime I see 2 T's, I'm like, why would you put 2 T's? It's 3 T's,
Yeah.
Nobody's going to spell Lady Gaga.
Autocorrect. Stop
Yeah,
it.
nobody's going to spell Lady Gaga's name wrong with,
Yeah.
4 G's.
So how did that band even come together? Did you know the members? Let's hear it.
Again, see, so many parts to the story. I worked at HMV.
Okay.
And my buddy Rougeau, who was part of the band, Randy, he got into producing. And he used to say, Demi, he used to call me Demi. Demi, I'm going to make you a star. I'm going to make you a star. This is after I left the whole freestyle world for a bit because I got influenced by urban culture.
Okay.
I loved urban music. Timbaland, Pharrell, all the stuff the Neptunes were doing, that sort of thing. It's like, I'm going to make you a star. I'm going to make you a star. I'm like, okay, Bruce, relax. You know what I mean? Like, just go sell that CD. And I was already working with my friend Jigs, John, at the time, and he was a musician. He started out in freestyle as well, and he's a great keyboardist. I wouldn't say the most technical keyboardist, but this guy just comes up with riffs. Just
cool.
You could, sit there for an hour or two and just come up with riffs, and just, he came up with the da-na-na riff.
Yeah.
I gotta give, we caught it and we were like, that's the one.
Sorry, to Carousel?
The Carousel.
Wow.
Yeah. So we co-produced that record.
Okay.
We worked with a guy named Vinnie Mac, legend in the Toronto scene, and kudos and shout out.
Vinnie Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Vince.
remember him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever met him, but all my Euro singles always had Vinnie Mac edit or something like that. He had a lot of edits, I think.
Vinnie was, you would know him because SPG, he put out records to SPG, and he had his own band at the time. And there was a lot of us that came up through Vinnie in that whole circle. Elisa came up through there. Sean Desmond came up through there.
Crazy.
So it's flashbacks. All these flashbacks.
Yeah, bringing good memories. So what, you guys just said, let's start a band?
No, so story was, I was connected with the people at Popular at the time because I had put out some other dance records previous to the time. And I wanted to write this song. They had this band, and I don't even think this band knows that I wrote, Carousel for them. And we wrote the song, didn't get to the band, or the band didn't like it. I'm not even going to mention which band it was. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this song.
Cool.
The song I started writing the record at HMV while I was working.
That's cool, man.
Music playing in the background. I'm just going on, take you on the round, just doing my thing, right? And 2 parts to writing that song, partly at HMV. And once I wrote the second verse going to a Lauryn Hill concert.
Oh, cool.
And I remember these things because they're important in the journey, right? So we wrote the song. We got it together. Vinny helped us put it all together, recorded it, and we knew we had something. We always knew we had something. Decided to put out this, at the time, fax. Didn't have emails. They had fax machines.
Yeah.
So we went to fax all these record labels, for, coming soon, just all this hype and stuff like that. And we started to distribute the song to a couple of labels. 2 labels came to the table. One, a major that wanted to put it on a compilation at the time. For those that don't know what compilations are, CD, 10, 20 songs, all types of artists. Made a lot of money, these compilations.
Yeah.
Because people were buying CDs, a lot at the time. Or this other company, which was Popular, which is the one we signed with, again, compilation based. But they were like, listen, we love you guys. We're going to do a video. We're going to put it to radio. We're going to do this. And I was like, we're like, okay, let's do it. And the guys at Popular, we knew them.
Yeah.
Right. Because I had put out, certain other projects with them as well.
So did you have the song before the band, or you had it before the band was officially? Because you said there was the riff, you started writing the top line or the chorus. Were you guys already that's your first single, or did you have other
first single, first collaboration,
first attempt?
Nothing else.
Cool, man.
We had nothing in the bag, nothing prepared. We just said we're gonna go with this song. At the time, the market was a little different, right? People were putting out songs, and if they would stick, then something more would happen. So we always said let's put out this record, see what happens, and we had no idea.
Did you know it was going to be a hit?
I did in the back of my head.
Okay.
But,
I think all artists think their shit's always going to be a hit. But sometimes okay, this is going to hit.
We knew it was special further to that, when Popular took it on and they decided they were going to put money into it, they brought in Young MC.
I saw, man, and I was like, that's sick.
I listen. I bought Bust a Move.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bought his cassette.
That's
you know.
cool,
So I was
man.
like, it's funny how some of the people that you idolize come through your journey at some point.
Yeah.
And he was one of them. And the first time we met Marvin, Young MC was at the video shoot, which took place at the Woodbine Center.
Wild. I heard
Yeah.
like you weren't a fan of the music video, or like you would have redone it.
I mean, look, we did 2 music videos. We did Carousel and we did Senorita. Senorita, I think was more us. We were more mature. Carousel, they kind of just said, listen, here's all this money. Go buy this clothes. Do this, do that. They had, I guess, a stylist at the time as well. We were wearing backpacks and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a little bit childish when it kind of look at I think anime people would love it. K-pop people would love
Cool,
it.
okay.
So it was part of the evolution of the Brattt Pack. But I think the Senorita video, which was our second single, really showcased who we were and what we wanted to wear and what we looked like.
You were competing with like a lot of big artists, man. This is like 2000 era. I don't know, like everybody, even urban, like Nelly, and then even the boy bands like 98 Degrees, Backstreet Boys, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How did you guys stand out? Like, how were you able to keep up? And you said you came up with Senorita. What happened after? Did Carousel get you to where you wanted to be? Like, what happened after that?
So once we signed Carousel, the label had signed us to a 3-song deal.
Okay.
So we knew that we were doing 3 songs with them.
Including Carousel and Senorita?
Well, and there was a 3rd song as well.
Okay.
So we did Carousel. Carousel became a hit. It went top 10 in Canada. And the funny thing was, as soon as it hit top 10, every single label called me.
Cool.
Hey, what are you guys doing with the Brattt Pack? We want to talk about an album. We want to do this. We want to do that. It was crazy. It was surreal because that's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
All this attention. I just want to put out music. Popular, though, had us to a 3-song deal, and they were like, no, we're going to see through this 3-song deal, and then whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
So Senorita was the second single.
Yeah.
We wrote that right after Carousel. We kind of brought in the same team. Vinny was involved in that one as well. Put it together. Did a really great video for that one as well. We're really happy with that. But you started to see that but Senorita wasn't as popular as Carousel. So the label, little by little started taking away some of the funds.
Okay.
We weren't going to get the best radio promoter anymore. We weren't going to put that much money into this. So once we got to the 3rd single, we kind of started by accident putting a Latin flavor to our music. If anybody, hears the riffs.
Yeah, I noticed your melodies have that fun, upbeat Latin like fusion. It was cool. I like that.
Yeah, so the 3rd single, I think we went a little bit far left and we tried to be a little more like Mark Anthony.
Oh, cool.
That song, I Need to Know.
Yeah.
It was a song called Move You. Not a lot of people heard it. Like I said, there wasn't as much funding in that record and stuff like that. And then back to what you're saying about a lot of competition and stuff like that. We wanted to be stars. We felt like we deserved so much more. And, true story, the label said, listen, we'll put a record with you guys. Here's $60,000. We'll make it happen. And we're like, well, $60,000? We want to quit our jobs. We want to be the Backstreet Boys. What's $60,000? And that's kind of how things started to change for us. We got a manager from the U.S. We believe we were always worth a big U.S. deal. And, through time and through circumstance, everything changed. Everybody kind of went their own separate ways. I, for the most part, stayed in the music business and, became more of a songwriter and a singer. I was nominated for a Juno back in 2007.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got my first publishing deal at the time.
Amazing.
So I started seeing myself more as a songwriter. I got married. Funny enough, Carousel is so important in my life. I met my wife on that video shoot.
Get out.
She was the girl that they chose to
Come
be my
on.
girl.
That's sick.
25 years later. And I never forget this because, 2 2000. So funny enough, it's
Y2K.
Yeah, 2000. This is an important year because it's the 25th anniversary of Carousel.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
I just still can't believe you came up with this hit and you guys just all went your separate ways.
Look, the guys were a little older than me. They had different needs at the time.
Okay.
Money and the label and just there's so many things that took place. I don't regret any of it. I always knew, even when I was at the pinnacle of and the height of the Brattt Pack, that it could all be taken away from me. So I was always prepared for that.
Okay.
And I think there were times where maybe I was a little bit bitter as to why I didn't get the full label deal and why I didn't get the opportunity to perform with some of the biggest stars internationally, so on and so forth. But as I've grown older, I've realized that there's a reason all this has happened. I'm a man of faith, and I believe timing. Everything's about timing. And for some reason, that wasn't in the cards for me. Maybe managing my son is part of my journey, or maybe managing somebody else, and I have managed the other artists and work with other artists. So I want to give back. My story, my legacy for me is to hopefully be able to provide information to people, share my story, and maybe inspire them, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I want people to know it's not easy.
You accomplish things that people will never accomplish in their whole musical career. So I wouldn't take that lightly. Like you did pretty great.
Listen, I'm grateful. I'm just grateful for everything.
Good for you.
You being a creator yourself, a producer, and this incredible brand that you've been able to build. Kudos to you for that.
Thanks, man.
I applaud that, because I think it takes so much courage to be able to jump in that, that deep ocean.
It's the risk. I say that to myself all the time. Like, people don't see how much risk you take, even being a musician, being an artist. Like, it's scary, because it's not like money's coming at you. It's like you got to work. It's easier to go work a job and get paid than to do this.
Sure.
And you might not even get anything at the end of it. So it's pretty mentally draining being an artist, I would say. But you know how it is, man. It's the adrenaline. It's like a rush you get.
Listen, it's just when you're able to take something from nothing and create it,
Yeah.
and put a visual behind it and put a story behind it, it's amazing. And this is why I'm so inspired by just, fashion, comic books, storytelling, movies, anything that involves the art of creation.
Did you go on tour?
See, this is another thing. They wanted, the label wanted the Brattt Pack to be dancing, like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, and we weren't dancers. So, that kind of changed things for us. So it's like, you guys aren't ready yet. You're not ready for the show yet. You just keep singing. Just write some autographs. You're not ready for the show. So some of our guidance was, like I said, they did the best they could at the time, and people have opinions and their thoughts, and we kind of listened, and yeah.
Why can't I find any of your stuff on Spotify? I went through all your comments on YouTube, and everyone's like, why can't I find this on YouTube? And like, I saw a comment from you from like 2 years ago, like, we're working on it. Is it because Popular is now owned by Sony? Is it Sony?
So Popular got bought by EMI.
Okay.
EMI got bought by I don't know who. So for the longest time, the master of Carousel was out there, and we didn't know who owned it and what was going on with it. And I don't think anybody's really taken the initiative to put it on Spotify. Back to what you're saying, it is a goal of mine this year, again, it being the 25th anniversary.
Cool.
To put it on Spotify. The rights have reverted back to us. So finally, we'll be able to put those songs on Spotify.
Can you like do what Taylor Swift did and like just do a, Demetri's version?
Listen, another thing that I've been toying with is the idea of maybe doing a remake of Carousel.
I heard.
Or, and I've worked on a couple of versions. They haven't, been the ones yet, but I'm still, trying to find the right team, the right magic for that. You're an incredible producer, so
I appreciate
please,
that.
put your hand
it's funny, and I don't know if I should be saying this. It's okay, but I heard the version that Chris did, and to be honest, I played it at the club. I don't know if you know. I don't think you know that.
I don't know that.
Because he let me hear it, and I loved it. I'm like, let me test it out. So I played it. It was cool. I played it at Dirty Martini. I love the song. I love the original. It's like a banger, man. It gives me like nostalgic vibes. So I just feel like it's one of those songs, especially now with like David Guetta and Tiesto and everybody bringing back the 90s, even some 2000 songs. Like, this is the opportunity, especially for 25 years.
I think people just need to hear the song. I think it needs to be exposed. And, back to what we were saying, maybe even before the podcast, is everything's about timing.
Yeah.
And it's going to take the right artist. It's going to take the right moment. My brother always says, listen, man, take your son and make him the Carousel guy. After 30 years after the fact, get him to sing the song.
Totally.
It's crazy. So you never know. I mean, I just believe that as long as it's out there and people know that it exists, it'll find its way.
It's going to exist forever. It's just the crazy part about music and internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even after we're gone, it's going to live beyond. It's going to live forever,
You're right.
essentially.
You're right.
So it's kind of
You're right.
crazy.
You're right.
So you got married.
I did.
At what point did you have kids?
Um, maybe about 2 years after,
Oh, wow. Okay.
we had our daughter, and no, after getting married.
Yeah.
Because again, like I've been with my wife for 25 years.
Yeah. Carousel was 2000. You got married 2 years after?
No, 2017,
Oh, wow.
or is it 2018? Sometimes I have to look at my ring.
So you're with her.
Wait, or 2008.
Come on.
What are the numbers here? Look, I always have to look at my ring. So I've been with her for 17. It'll be 17 years this year.
So it took you 17 years to propose.
Well, yeah.
I got to bring her on the podcast and hear her side of the story.
Yeah, listen, she's been really patient and she's been great, and she's a creator too. So she knows, that things take time and there's sacrifice and yeah.
So, like, why did you so this is perfect. Why did you take, like, what was it that, why at 2017? Was there something that just said, okay, I want to get
I don't think it
married?
was 2017. It was 2008.
Okay, 2008.
Right?
So 8
I've been
years.
17. I've been married 17.
Okay, so that's actually not bad. You can, like, boyfriend, girlfriend, and then get engaged and then married. So then you had your daughter.
Probably about 2 years after.
Okay, and
She's four. Well, if we've been married for 17 years this year, she's 14. So
okay,
2-3 years. Yeah.
and you were still doing music, or you're always doing
I
music?
haven't stopped making music.
Okay.
I just left being an artist because at some point I actually had to go into the corporate world and make some money, buy a house, buy a ring.
Yeah,
It was really difficult to make that kind of revenue stream through music alone. So I had to pivot a couple times, and I would say back in 2013, I got restructured in the situation that I was in. And I decided that I was going to go into music full time.
Good for you.
So for the last 13 years, I've been in music full time.
Amazing.
Yeah, just.
So, how do your kids see you? Like, are you like, you have your own, like, mini studio at home, or you songwrite and
Yeah,
they just
so,
watch
so
you?
we've got an area. We've got an area in our house that we call the studio.
Cool.
And some great people have come through it. Mutual friends of ours like Armando.
Yeah.
Me and Martina came through there. Craig Smart.
Oh wow, that's cool.
A lot of great people.
Yeah,
that have
legends.
turned into friends as well. I never got into producing physically.
Okay.
I was always the guy in the background saying, do this, do that, play this, play that. So I never decided to build a studio.
For sure.
Although I bought a microphone, I bought some monitors, and I bought the computer and stuff. And people would come and record at my place.
That's wicked.
And for the longest time, like I said, I was part of a songwriting group, myself and this gentleman by the name of Jaco Lawrence from Barbados. He was signed to Capitol, did songs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, big label deal, big record, came out, biggest songwriters, did a song with Snoop Dogg. And he and I were exclusive songwriters in this band called F51 for a good period of time. And we got to travel the world. We went to South Korea.
Oh, awesome.
Greece, Germany. It's so many parts of the story. Like I said, it's all coming back to me. But yeah, I've never stopped music.
Good for you.
I've never stopped, and even today, I don't, I'm not chasing what I was chasing before.
Your priorities change as you get older, and I totally get it.
I'm of Greek descent, and I've always loved Greek music.
Yeah.
And I got the opportunity a couple of years ago to write with one of the biggest Greek artists in Greece.
Cool.
And now I've decided, hey, I'm going to write some Greek music for now.
Oh, good for you, man.
Yeah.
That'd be wicked.
Yeah.
I'm surprised not, like, with the whole Afro house thing, and they're using, like, a lot of Arabic melodies and stuff. It would be cool to have, like, a Greek inspired, like, melodies with, like, current music.
Timing.
Yeah.
I've thought about it, and you're right. There's that song, "Come to Dubai," or
Yeah.
So I know, because similar to yourself, I DJ as well. So I'm always hip to what's out there and stuff like that. So yeah, hey, let's do it, man.
Hey.
Listen. We've got that creative flair.
Totally,
We can
man,
get
for
together,
real.
put it all together.
And your son, you kept saying that, like, he could be the next. So what does he do? What's his interest, I guess?
He's really good at drawing.
Awesome.
He's a really good artist. He loves playing with toys. He loves taking a toy that he had and refurbishing it and making it into a new toy. He's just got an incredible imagination.
How old is he?
12.
Okay, awesome.
And he's got a good voice.
Oh, great.
I've been able to identify that he's got a good voice.
So as a father, how much influence do you want to put into your kids to, I'm not saying you want them to be anything that you were, but do you sometimes feel like I'd like to live through them, or none of that?
You know, the music industry has been really tough, and I don't know if I would tell somebody, "Hey, listen, go into the music industry," because there's no stability.
No.
You know, you never know where your next paycheck's coming from. You can't be selfish. You know, I think that's another thing. You know, now where I am in my life the most, you know, I have to be careful because my family comes first.
Of course.
You know, I have to be able to provide for the family, feed the kids, get them the tools that they need. So is it important for me that they become superstars? No. Is it important for me that they're creative? I think they're just naturally creative. You know,
Yeah.
my daughter's an actress.
Oh, cool.
You know, she does. My wife, again, she's an actress. You know, an actress, an influencer. She's got her own influence channel. You
Oh,
know?
awesome.
Shout out Marina Salsa.
Hey, okay, I want to check it out.
At Marina Salsa.
All right, let's go.
Fashion.
I heard
know?
she's going to give us a shout out and get that going, get the collab going. Because I'm telling you, I have a lot of friends who like we follow each other, and some of my wife's friends. I don't know what they do. They do these like influence links, and they do these like Father's Day and Mother's Day, and like hundreds of people buy into it. So it's a thing.
My wife's, listen, she's gorgeous in my eyes, and I'm sure to other people as well. She's very photogenic, and like I said, she was an actress when I met her.
Cool.
And through sacrifice and you know, building a family, she's had to, you know, give some of that up a little bit. But you know, with what's happening on Instagram and these different platforms, you know, she's been able to get back into it and help other brands,
Amazing.
you know, achieve success. You know, from swimsuits to sunglasses. You know, I'm getting packages all the time. Amazon constantly coming to my house.
Oh, come on.
And yeah, so it's cool. It's cool. And I think that the theme of my family is really just creativity, you know, actress, singer, artist. And I don't think I haven't pushed anybody in this direction.
Okay.
Just through natural progression, through the things that they've seen, through the people that they've been around. Like I've been writing songs in my, you know, studio, and people would come, and my son would come and he would be dancing and
Cool.
he'd be, you know, pretending to play an instrument, and my daughter would see these things. So your kids at times maybe see what you do as a parent, and they follow in their footsteps. Some want to follow in their footsteps naturally.
Sure.
Naturally. You have a daughter,
I
right?
have a daughter.
So, you know, does she hear the music thing happening? Does she see the clothing thing happening? Like, what's her?
She knows Daddy Day Club. She can recognize it.
There you
It's
go.
really cool.
There you go.
She knows like the podcast that's going on, which is cool. The music thing, I think more when she was little, because I was more into it.
Okay.
It was pre Daddy Day Club, so I was still like kind of producing, but I live in a condo, so most of the time I had headphones on.
Okay.
But I got her on the piano and we've played, and I teach her like music notes and stuff like that, just the bare basics. But
Nice.
with the shift of Daddy Day Club, like having Daddy Day Club is very similar to being an artist, man.
Sure.
You pour everything into it for the same hopes of when you're a music artist that, let's say you hope that, you know, Tiesto plays your song.
Yeah.
Now it's shifted. I hope Tiesto wears my brand.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I don't have the capacity to do both, because at the same time, I still want to teach my daughter things that I think are valuable.
Of course.
So it's exhausting, and you can't do it all, man. That's why I said, like, when you reached out, I'm like, man, even Armando reaches out to me every week. Hey, man, like, come on. I said, dude, it's impossible. I don't even have time to go to the gym, dude. And you know how important that is. We're fathers, and you got to be healthy, and if you want to be there long term for your kid. And I'm like, I'm totally neglecting myself completely 100% to try to keep Daddy Day Club going, family going, you know, teach values and all that stuff to my daughter. So no, but I just picked her up from music class today. She goes to like this music school, but I don't know. I think like you said, when they see what you're doing, they'll gravitate towards whatever that is.
Sure.
Yeah. So
They've got our DNA.
yeah.
You know, at
that's
the
true.
end of the day, they got our DNA.
Yeah.
You know, there's you know, my dad influenced me. Hopefully I'll influence them, you know. and I'll support them whatever they want to do. If they want to be in the arts, they're going to be in the arts. If they want to sell real estate, they'll sell real estate. It's just I think that it's important that human beings evolve and do what they really want to do.
Yeah.
And aren't influenced by other voices.
Of course. And they're going to do whatever they're going to want to do anyways.
sure.
You don't even know what the future lies, right?
For sure.
What's the hardest part about being dad? And you're a different generation of dad, kind of, because you had your daughter, she's 14, so she still played outside. You know what I mean?
So it's funny. I was talking to my brother about it yesterday, and I was saying, I want my kids to appreciate me, and I want my kids. I don't want to. Some people say, why are your kids on iPads, or why are your kids doing this, or why do their kids stay up late? I'm like, listen, I understand it because I used to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be a father, and I want to be able to help guide them, but I don't want to. I want to be their friend as well.
Cool.
If my kids do something wrong, I say, listen, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You need to change this. But I do it in a diplomatic way. I don't do it in a, back in the day, my dad used to chase me with pillows around the house.
Yeah, pillows. You had a nice dad,
Well,
man.
I'm being conservative right now.
Yeah. My buddy's dad used to beat him with a bamboo stick, man. So
Things have changed a lot. Our culture's so different right now.
yeah.
But like I said, there's times I raise my voice. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I just understand that I get it. Why my kid wants to buy this $100 action figure. I wanted that $100 action figure.
100%.
Sometimes you have to step back and be like, I used to be that guy, right?
Yeah.
So don't be upset with them. Just kind of say, listen, kid, when you save up or when the timing's right, we'll get you that action figure.
Yeah. Well, who's that guy, the neighborhood guy from back in the day? He had his own TV show, Mr. Neighborhood.
Mr. Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Yes.
There was a quote that I love. It says, when you become a parent, don't forget what it was like to be a kid.
Yeah.
Because like you said, man, we were there and we wanted all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So don't be so, tight.
I think disciplining children and being their friend is probably the hardest thing to do,
Yeah.
because you don't want your kids to be upset with you.
Yeah,
You don't want to see your kids upset, but you also need to teach them what's right from wrong.
for sure.
And you need to let them know, what you did this time, don't do it again.
Got it.
And it's not right. So that's the hardest thing. My brother says, sometimes you got to take away that iPad. I'm like, listen, I just have faith that they won't do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't need to take away.
Good for you.
iPad. But we do control the internet sometimes at the house. And as they were younger, we did play that game a little bit. But now they're older, so we don't go there.
How is it having 2 kids?
Listen, it's they call it the $1 million family for me because it's a boy and a girl.
Cool.
So I'm really grateful that I have both a boy and a girl. And listen, I love being a father. I pinch myself sometimes, and I think I'm still in denial because I feel like I want to be 27 again.
Yeah.
Get ready for that nightclub at 11 o'clock, whereas now I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock, So
That's pretty late. We sleep at 9:30 during the. Sometimes 7:30 we're in bed, man. We're shot.
Dude, I will go to the fullest extent. I love watching YouTube videos and just, podcasts like this where I can learn and absorb and find influences, similar to, Daddy Day Club. I love certain brands and, I see their stories, how they came from nothing and, they were at trade shows and,
Yeah.
it's, I've always got these ideas to do different things. I've never pigeonholed myself to just do music, It's funny because I think I manifested being on a podcast this year.
Come on.
I did.
That's cool.
I didn't know what kind of podcast. Back in the COVID days, I was collecting comic books, and I started collecting comic books, and there's a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos, and I was like, maybe I'll do that, but I don't know, that didn't strike me to do that yet. And then we had a quick conversation, just asking you to be a part of something, or
and it led to this.
And it led to this, and
now the doors are open.
The doors are open.
That's it.
And conversation. Good conversation, genuine people. That's what I thrive to be around. So
That's cool, man.
This is a great beginning of the year for me.
There you go.
Thank you.
Amen. So how is do you still go on dates with your wife and stuff like that? You guys go out?
Well, we try to do the date night thing every so often. It's important for us to give our kids a good experience. We just got back from Greece last year.
Cool.
We do water parks. So my daughter loves Wonderland and stuff like that. So we try to keep it fresh as much as possible.
Cool.
Sometimes being parents, you're inundated with so many things coming at you that date night doesn't always happen.
Sure.
But we've got a good relationship and an honest relationship, and we just when it's time, we make things happen. Sometimes we look for an excuse,
Yeah.
whether look, it's Valentine's Day, we should go for dinner,
Yeah.
or you know what, this birthday's happening, or whatever the case may be. So
Do you guys ever like reflect? Listen, man, Carousel, the time Carousel came out and you guys met through that, that must be so nostalgic to just look back at your relationship and be like, man, that's sick.
look, I'm grateful for everything. Carousel at the time, it's funny because I think it was a sexual innuendo. Make me go up, make you go down. I think I was thinking sexually at the time. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's been life. It's gone up, it's gone down. And the one thing about my wife I can say is that she was there when I was signing autographs at movie theaters, and she was there when people were chasing me through malls, and she was there when things were tough.
Yeah.
And she's still there, and we're still finding ways to evolve. Evolution is a part of a theme in my family. We just continuously evolve, continuously support each other, and just see where life leads us.
That's
Up to this
cool.
point, things have been good.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a cool thing to reflect on and kind of just be like, wow, like put the song out, and led to marriage, right? And that beautiful family and stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, it's you can't write this story.
Yeah.
You really can't. Like I didn't write, didn't visualize that all these things were going to happen the way that they did. They just did, and I embraced it.
I still can't believe how hard it is to find information about the song.
Well, look, Carousel came back in 2000. We didn't have internet at the time, or we didn't have social media, right? And the label, changed, got bought out, whatever the case may be. And nobody's taking the initiative.
Yeah.
It takes the initiative of somebody to do something about it. And like I said, I probably wanted to put Carousel on Spotify a couple times and never did it.
So would a remix be? I guess the remix would make it legible, or like legible to be put back on Spotify,
No,
or would you have to re-record the vocal?
no. Technically, I can be that master.
Yeah.
The master copy of Carousel, what people heard on the radio, belongs to us now, to the Brattt Pack.
I see.
So
So you can do whatever you want with it.
so we could do whatever we want.
So
with
what's so hard about going through like DistroKid or whatever and put it on?
nothing. But like I said about timing, there was times where I wanted to do it. I thought about maybe putting out a remix first before putting
Got
it on
it.
Spotify. So I've had a couple of ideas in my head, and this year I think I'm the most committed to it because it's the 25th anniversary.
Two questions. A, would you still talk to the boys?
Yeah.
Would they ever just imagine there's a 90s nostalgia, Ramo, and they're doing a 90s thing, and they said we need would you guys come together for like a show?
Listen, I would definitely get on stage again. Would they? I don't know. I don't know. I think they would.
Yeah, they need the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I think they would. Listen, everybody kind of went their own ways, even though we've had communication. It's still they're not neighbors. I don't see them every single day, right?
Yeah.
But whenever I make that phone call, or
You guys have a WhatsApp group or no?
no,
Okay.
nothing like that.
All right.
No.
All right. Second question. If you could get it remixed, what would you want it to sound like? Knowing that music changes all the time.
Look, the essence of Carousel for me was part of that was that main riff, that da da da
Yeah.
da da da. So I've always said that if somebody's gonna take this record and do something with it, that the essence of that riff has to be a part of it in some shape or
100%.
form.
Yeah.
The vocal, was recorded in 2000. Times were different, so there is a retro sound to it.
Okay.
So similar to what they did with that Jay Sean song, Regard. Take it out on the floor. What's that song?
Sing it for
By
me more.
Regard.
I don't know. I only know.
It's a Jay Sean song.
I only know
Regard
down.
Took it.
I only know down.
No. I forget the name of the record right now. It's not coming to me. But anyhow, they took his vocal, they pitched it down.
Got it.
and-
Okay.
And they changed.
So the typical
Yeah.
house style
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. For some reason, that's what I think Carousel should be. Like it should be coming to four on the floor with maybe a changed vocal of some sort. But the essence of that riff has always been important for me. I'm like, why would you not? Why, if you're gonna do Carousel, you need that riff.
100%.
It's kind of like what they did with Ferrari.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
they took the P Diddy song and they did that Ferrari song. So
That's cool, man.
yeah.
I don't know. I see big things, especially like 25 years. It's like pretty cool.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this year. I don't know what's coming. I just know that, as long as I stay committed and, put this record out, share the master on Spotify with all the people that have sent me notes and DMs and have commented on the video on YouTube and that sort of thing. Even to the point where they're like, dude, like this thing needs to be in HD. Like, what's all this fuzz? Like, it was recorded in 2000.
Yeah.
They didn't have HD back then. So it's like there's a lot of things to consider, but it's gonna take the initiative of me to put this all together. And like I said, I think 2025 is gonna be the year where creativity and opportunities, I believe, are gonna manifest.
Let's put it out there.
I receive it, I receive it, Look, at the end of the day, it's hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts. Back to being a father, back to being, help building the family, being a provider. That's another keyword I'm looking for. There's a lot of moving parts, and sometimes you get sidetracked. And sometimes you have to prioritize, like as you said, what's right. Was the gym more important than that studio session, So I don't regret any of it. I've procrastinated at times, but I think I procrastinated because Spirit told me to procrastinate.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it, The universe wasn't ready for what my thought was or my idea was. But when the universe is ready for it, it'll happen.
I can see like a big artist remake it.
I always say, Drake, man, take my song,
Drake, tap in.
Listen, people don't know, but I worked with Drake.
Oh, come on.
I did.
Let's hear it.
Again, crazy story. Came through Carousel. I was managed by the guys in the States that wanted to manage the Brattt Pack at the time. They found Drake. They said, hey, D, be my Toronto guy. Take him to some producers, some whatnot. At the time, I wasn't really thinking about writing for Drake because his music was very organic, kind of fell into a more organic kind of vibe. It wasn't like pop, that sort of thing. But I took him to a couple different recording studios.
Dope.
I introduced him to a couple of different engineers, and I got a placement for him.
Come on.
Yeah, again, people don't know, shout out Drake, but he did a song called Video Growth, one of my producer friends, DFS.
DFS.
Yeah.
Ooey, ooey.
No.
100%.
No, it wasn't the same guy. This was a producer that did some urban music.
All right. I got carried away there.
And I connected him with him, and Drake did a record for one of his mixtapes at the time. And it was probably about 3 years before I was kind of going. I almost thought I was going to manage Drake, believe it or not, because I was being managed. I was the Toronto guy.
Yeah.
So, at one point I tell people, I almost was involved in the management team for Drake.
That's cool, man.
So, and I haven't spoken to him since, man.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I think this is 25 years. This is it, man.
Listen, always had love for the guy. He was always good to me. I told the story that I met him at a Starbucks at Sherway Gardens in Etobicoke.
Old school days. Shout out Sherway Gardens, man. I loved it before they renovated. It was so different.
Yeah.
I love that mall, man.
Yeah. And, he had an Acura Integra at the time. And, he gave me a CD. I believe he gave me a CD with some of his music. And I don't know where it is. I don't know where I put it because I've had so many CDs that, come and gone. But look, man, he's put Toronto on the map. He's done incredible things, and it'd be great to reconnect with him at some point. If anybody knows Drake, tell him D.
But listen, man,
around.
don't you think it's so funny? I messaged, I guess one of the co-founders of October's very own. His name is Derek. I don't know his last name, but shoot your shot. I messaged him. Because what I did was there's something called rocket research. You put in the person's name, it'll bust out their email.
Yes.
I emailed that Derek just saying, hey, man, I'd love to coordinate a package to Drake. And it bounced back. I found him on Instagram. Tell me he responded. At least he responded. I said, hey, man, I was sending you an email. It bounced back. I was wondering if there's a new email address that I can have. And he responded, hey, what are you looking for? And I responded. He left me on scene, but he's a busy guy. But nowadays, man, it's easy. But listen, if I ever get Drake to do a collaboration, I'm going to tell him.
Yeah, man, I just want to see what the guys see what's up.
Let's a reunion.
He used to call me D too. You're like, D, it's like, I remember he sent me this email in Hotmail at the time. It's like, yo, D, I need the parts for this record. Man. You got to talk to DFS. Get this going. And it was like, all right, I'm working on it.
Sean Desmond did some big things last year with Drake. So it's a small community, man. You never know.
Yeah, listen, man. Yeah. kudos to Sean and I don't want to call it a comeback because he's always been involved in music and
Yeah.
he's a creator as well. But what he's doing and his family and everything that he's done, he'd be a great guest for you at some point as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I'd love that. It's crazy small world. Like even Robbie I just posted that clip.
Robbie,
Crazy.
I love Robbie. Robbie's great.
He's
man.
such an awesome guy.
I'll say Robbie was one of the first guys that embraced us. With the stations E103, they came to bat for the Brattt Pack in a big way from the very beginning. Shout out Matt, shout out Tony, Robbie, and every time I'd see him at a show or I'd see him anywhere I'd see him, he's always just very kind and genuine. And I'm not surprised that his business is so successful. So congrats to him as well.
Just shows how far you guys like, because he was a producer too. He told me.
Yeah, he had a song out with a band. Yeah,
yeah. Fuck, I wish I remember.
I was trying to remember it too. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Because I saw him at an event not too long ago, and he brought it up, and I was like, oh, that's right, you did that too.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
Yeah.
How much support you get from your family? Like, are you close with your family, and do you have those family values too? Like,
Of course. In anything that I do, I've always had support with my family. I come from a traditional Greek family where they want their sons, because I have two brothers, to have a good job and support their family. It was never important for them to, for me to be a superstar or celebrity. Although when the Brattt Pack thing happened, they were very proud of it. Would say, yes, this is my son, and so on and so forth. My parents know that I still, make music. I've traveled, all over the place to make music. Times I've had to leave my family for a month, or I've had to bring somebody, in my house for a month, because it's, it costs a lot of money to travel and to find hotels and that sort of thing. And people don't see that. They just see the final product.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of investment. So yeah, great support. My son's so influenced by celebrities and Louis Vuittons and big brands and this. He's like, Dad, if you were still a singer, we'd be rich.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, maybe you're the one that's gonna be rich. Maybe I'll be able to find ways to guide you, and you'll find your way. So that's part of it all, man.
Do you guys still get support? Like, do you still have your parents?
Of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do they live close to you?
Listen to my big fat Greek wedding.
Okay.
That whole thing where they're down the street from you. Listen, it wasn't planned.
Okay.
I didn't plan it.
That's sick, man.
It just so happened that the house that I grew in, is only about 5-minute walk away from my house.
Amazing.
And it's had its benefits. My parents taking care of my kids, and at times if I need to regroup or I need to blow off some steam, I just walk to my bedroom where I grew up. Tell my wife, listen, I'm going back to my bedroom, my home. Just joking, but
Yeah, my parents live literally next door, so it's pretty cool.
there you go.
Yeah.
Listen, like I said, none of it's planned. None of it. It's all by divine intervention.
Yeah. So, what's the age gap between your kids?
So 14 and 12.
Okay, that's
years.
really nice.
Boy, girl. So like I said, they've got different personalities, and teenagers. Girls mature a lot quicker. Everybody says that, and it's true. I think girls mature a lot quicker. My son still likes playing with toys, and he's into the whole video game thing and Fortnite and all that jazz. My daughter's into clothes.
Yeah.
She's into clothes, and she's into I don't know. She's movies and friends. That moment when we were growing up and everything was about friends, right?
Yeah.
So
Is it scare you at all, like with her entering her teens and stuff, like how you'll handle that?
listen, as long as she's mature and she's responsible. I was one of those kids that I felt like knew everybody, but knew which groups I wanted to associate with and which groups I didn't want to associate with. And I feel like I trust my daughter.
Okay.
Up until this point, I have no reason not to trust her.
How do you build that trust?
Taking them to Starbucks.
Yeah. Okay.
Buying them a dragon fruit refresher, whatever that is, strawberry or carrot. No. My daughter loves music. She's got, if you look at my Spotify, because it's a family plan, all these playlists are hers.
Cool.
And she just loves and absorbs so much music. And she goes, Dad, I just like driving in the car with you and just listening
That's
to music.
cool,
So it's like, take a drive, an hour drive, play music, grab some Starbucks, and those are some of the best bonding experiences.
I love it. You guys like jam out to Carousel or what?
Oh my God, man! I've been told so many times to like play that, in different places I go and stuff, and I'm like, I don't have it. I don't have a copy because I don't have a digital copy. Is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't.
So if a DJ wanted to play it, they can't.
Well, I'm sure they can. I mean, there's ways to get it off of YouTube.
But we're not playing rips here, man.
Well, listen, this you could be part of the campaign to push me
Okay.
to get it out there because it's time.
Can I buy it online? Like I mean, even mean like a CD because it was on the I forget which mix, but it was a 2001 compilation
All
mix.
Stars.
We
2001.
can CD rip it at least from there. We'll get like 320 quality.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll do that.
yeah,
No extended mix, but we'll
yeah.
just
It's time to get it out there, and a lot of that has to do with me, I think,
yeah.
because nobody else has decided to do it. So, but I'm the guy that put it on YouTube,
Yeah,
many
yeah.
many many years ago.
I saw.
So,
That's man, what a story. It needs like a documentary, dude.
listen, like I said, I'm just grateful, man. If there's one theme in my life, it's just being grateful for what I have and what's coming.
So if you could collaborate with any artist, who would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I grew up idolizing so many songwriters. Like I said, Timbaland at one point was the guy that I loved his flow, his music. Pharrell was another guy that I really idolized, and even he had a clothing line, Billionaire Boys Club, and I used to wear it with so much pride, um, so so many great artists. Coldplay is another
Oh,
one.
that would be
I
sick.
mean, I love Coldplay. Big fan. Me and my family are going to that concert. My wife doesn't believe in like spending money on these crazy absorb
I'm with her.
prices.
Not a chance.
It's insane.
Taylor Swift, that was wild.
Everything.
That's
It's
crazy.
insane. But as the universe wanted it to be, we got lucky. We got on that Ticketmaster form and we got tickets, and our family's going. And sometimes she's even playing with the idea of like, let's sell these tickets.
Yeah.
They're expensive tickets. Let's sell these tickets. I'm like, listen, but you want to experience this with the kids.
Yeah.
We're going to be outside in Toronto on a nice summer day, and all we've been talking about is if we're ever going to go to a concert as a family, we're going to go to Coldplay.
That's cool.
Whereas I've chaperoned my daughter to the rap concerts.
Cool.
Boogie with the Hoodie. I don't even know who that guy was, and I've been to his concert twice.
Yeah.
So
It's so funny, man, because you said Timberland. He's only actually like probably 2-3 degrees away from you because look, Sean Desmond, Nelly Furtado, and Nelly Furtado Timberland.
you know what? I'm very. How do I say this? I'm gonna say a private person, but I don't ask people for things.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. I just mean in reality, you're not that far away.
No, and I'm pretty good at connecting the dots. And if I really wanted to reach out to somebody, but I've always been a realist, and it's like, what I reached out to this person for?
Got it.
If I needed them, or if I thought that they could add value to what I was doing, maybe I would take that step. But even like Drake, people are like, dude, like you helped Drake. Why aren't you talking to Drake? I was like, yeah, I had his phone number, but he's changed his phone number. And,
Yeah.
and I've never gone out of my way to reach out to him.
Okay.
But I figure if I saw him at some point, hopefully he would reciprocate the love
Yeah,
and
yeah.
be like, hey, D, what's up? Like, I'm
Seriously.
hoping.
You never know, man.
You never know.
Because look at like him bringing on Sean in that concert. That was crazy. The Canadian artist concert.
Yeah.
That's wild. And it's kind of funny when I think of Sean's voice, I can kind of hear him sing Carousel. He's got that key and tone.
Okay, I don't know if I should say this to anybody, but Sean was at the studio session when we recorded that
What?
song, and I'll just leave it at that.
That's cool.
Sean, what is it? If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
So, yeah, Sean. Well, listen, like at the time, it's funny because even Sean's manager wanted to manage us, but we had already signed our deal in our situation.
Got it.
And things changed. But, the one thing about that Sean got that we didn't get, and congrats to him for that, is he got an album deal.
Okay.
He was able to put out albums.
Is that the key?
Well, I think that's the key where people will remember.
Okay.
We had a singles deal. We had, 2 singles really that people knew. But Sean had, a few different albums, and then had the opportunity to perform on bigger stages.
Got it.
And again, that's just the way that the universe wanted it.
And that's okay because life's still on and all these opportunities are still available. You never know what will happen.
You got to wake up every morning and be like, you're going to get that phone call today.
Yeah.
You're going to get that email today, or that situation's going to come today, or that person wants to create something with you today. That's what keeps me going. I need that creativity to continuously go through my blood no matter what. Even when I have to pivot and decide that maybe I need to put things on hold for a period of time. I've done that before. I've worked corporate before. I've took the step of taking music full time, which was probably one of the hardest times of my life, in regards to trying to support a family and that sort of thing, and not being at your kids' birthday parties a couple of times. People don't know that, and I'd be FaceTiming my son and be like, now he tells me, Dad, you haven't been at my birthday party for like 2 years. I'm like, listen, man, I get it, and thank you for your patience, and it was all to get us to where we are as a family, and to get us to that next step.
That's crazy.
And yeah,
The sacrifices, man.
sacrifice is a key word
Yeah.
in what I do and what you do, in brands, in anything that requires us to, at times, I think that I don't have the ability to be selfish anymore.
Okay.
And when I say that, I don't mean I'm a selfish person, but I mean I can't take that writing trip to Los Angeles anymore, because that $3,000 is more important for my family than it is for me to take that trip.
I had a dinner with my buddy yesterday, and he's single, and these are the things I told him. Like, it changes if you have a dream. And you know what, Daddy Day Club is like a reminder to keep going after your dream, but it's a little bit different because it's a money thing. You're so constrained to what you can and cannot do, because, like you said, you can't just take that $3,000 trip unless maybe you plan for it. But it's harder, man, to do these things when you have obviously like a family.
Yeah, your kids need, they need whatever they need, to take classes or headshots or tutors or whatever the case may be, and you just have to allocate these funds and budget properly. Listen, I always, some people. The one thing I will say is that I've always stayed consistent with the love, the passion, and the creation of music, but I have had to pivot at times, and I've never been scared to pivot.
Okay.
Because I always know that the music's going to bring me right back in.
I love it.
And this is why I said, last year I think I made a really big sacrifice and said, listen, I'm not going to get involved in a lot of writing sessions. I'm not going to write for a lot of people. I'm going to keep the circle very, very small. And I started to work on Greek music. It's like, this is just a period that this is what's calling me. I got the opportunity to go to Greece and meet the producers that I was writing with and working with, and working on some stuff right now. Hopefully it'll turn out to be something. And, who knows? Managing is not out of the question. Helping develop artists, an artist I've worked with, a guy named AP, and I've helped, work on his project, and I'm continuously helping his project. I've become very selective.
Okay.
I used to be the guy that would get into the room with anybody. Writing sessions were exciting all the time. Now I do if it suits my overall goal and if the timing is right. So now I'm very selective on what projects and who I work with.
Why don't you start your own agency?
Well, we talk about labels and stuff like that. You can do that, but it takes an influx of cash.
Okay.
And listen, there's a book out there called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. I hope it's the 5 people, the 6 people, but the 5 people you meet in heaven. And what it says basically is that you have to meet certain people through your journey to get to that next step.
Got it.
And I believe, and I'm not forcing anything, I believe that next step is, around the corner. Who knows what manifests from this particular podcast.
Can I tell you? Drake is going to see this podcast. I'm telling you, because I'm that's law of attraction. I'm putting it out there. Like, I really want to do a collab with Drake.
Of course.
Tap in,
Yeah.
and he's going to see you sitting here, and he's going to be like, D, what up?
Listen, Jake, yeah, show some love. Yeah, listen, but I wasn't talking on that scale, but obviously I would invite that as well. But I'm even talking about guys like you.
Yeah.
Your name has been brought up into so many circles. You're so creative and you're so talented at what you do. And the fact that this is the first time we've actually
That's
met,
wild.
and I think what you're doing is amazing. And I just
Appreciate it, man.
I think the circles that you surround yourself with are really important to the
True.
way that you evolve.
Totally.
And the stories you have to tell.
Totally. I know we only have a couple minutes and we'll cut it, but just sitting with you here, I have 1,000 ideas, man. It's so cool. I just love your brand. I love what you're doing, and I love your past, and I love how it just made you who you are. And I think there's so many opportunities to do something cool. Even if it's not musically, it's to help you get to where you want to be at, want to be a part of it. It's better to help you now than I always say this, like, I don't like piggybacking off people's success. You know what I
Yes,
mean? I
yes,
hate that
yes.
stuff.
I believe that
Let's
too.
help you get
Yeah.
to where you want to go,
Yeah.
whatever that may be. But I can totally, I can see it already, especially for summer 2025.
I'm excited. Like I said, I came into this year and I said this year is going to be a special year. I don't know why, but my intuition that's never failed me is, said it was going to be a special year, and I invite it and I welcome it. So whatever that case, whatever it is, and any way that I can support you,
Appreciate it.
it's I think what you're doing is amazing,
Thanks,
and
man.
yeah.
We'll see what happens. So usually how I end the podcast as 2 questions. If you could have anyone perform at your wedding, dead or alive, who would it be?
Okay, so I say Coldplay, and
Okay.
and the reason why I say Coldplay is when parents were singing lullabies to their kids, I was singing Yellow and
Beautiful.
Fix You to my kids, and my kids grew up with Coldplay, and this is why they love Coldplay so
Yeah.
much. And I believe that this concert that we're going to see in the summer is going to be a memory.
I remixed Fix You. Bootleg. You got to listen to it.
I
It's pretty
do.
sick. And I use the original riff
Oh, okay.
of the guitar.
Okay.
I love it. I love
Okay.
Coldplay, man. So I
Okay.
can relate. So
Oh.
Coldplay.
Coldplay for sure.
Okay. Sweet. And then if you can invite a guest here from your circle, who would it be?
Okay, from my circle or any circle?
Well, it's got to be your circle because it'd be more realistic because you would logistically coordinate it.
Oh my goodness, that's such a tough question. I know so many people, and I don't want to name drop one person because, I don't want to get the other person to be disappointed with me.
Yeah.
Um,
Give me 3.
oh my God. Okay, I mean, a buddy of mine just started a restaurant not too long ago, very successful, Fat Fork.
I know Fat
In
Fork. It's
Mississauga.
on Dundas Street.
Nick would be great because he calls himself a marketing genius.
Yeah. He used to
And-
own Zets or still does.
Well, he was involved
Okay.
at some point, but Fat Fork is his baby, and
Okay.
he's a parent.
Sweet.
Another guy, maybe Danny Rubino.
I know Danny. Shout outs Danny.
Shout out
I love Danny.
Danny.
Celebrate 2 a.m.
2 a.m. See, there you go.
Yeah.
He owns a cannabis store as well.
Oh, he does.
And yeah, and
Okay.
he's an entrepreneur.
Tell him to
and,
bring the goods when he comes on.
Yeah, and the one thing about him that I really admire is that I think he's a great father, and what he's done with his daughters
Yes.
is admirable. Very
Is it
admirable.
Alicia?
Alyssa Rubino?
Okay.
She's an artist as well.
Yes.
I've written and worked with her.
She had a song Mutual. Z
I
supported
co-wrote
it.
that one, baby.
Come
That-
on.
yeah, that was her
Small
song.
world, man. That's
Yeah,
so wicked.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think those are the 2 people that come into my mind. Maybe Murray Daigle as well. Well, he works at FaZe and he's a producer, and he's had a great history through music and worked with different bands, and he's a father as well. So
Let's do Danny.
Danny,
Set it up.
where you at, Danny?
Okay, we're going to set that up.
You
We'll
know?
get Monaco to influence it. Hammer will get you to influence
Listen,
it.
Danny's got great energy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like I said, I admire him as a father. And I've said I don't think I've ever told him this.
Yeah. It's your
Um,
chance.
But what he's done with his daughters, they're very genuine. They're good kids.
Yeah.
And Danny's had a story of his own,
Totally.
and has
Yeah,
a story of his
yeah,
own to tell.
I know.
From being in a band to entrepreneurship, and he's always constantly trying to create things.
Yeah.
Like us, always looking for that next thing to get involved. And I think that's what keeps us young as well. They say that when you're constantly looking for that next thing, it gives you that fuel.
Cool, man.
Keep going.
Demetri, it was a pleasure, brother. I loved it, man. I look forward
Much
to seeing
love.
what's
Thank you.
cooking for
Thank you
2025,
so
man.
much. Yeah,
Let's get it.
Daddy Day Club.
Let's do
You
it.
know, buy the brand, wear the brand.
That's it.
And
Shout outs to Toronto Podcast as well. Killing it. Graham.
much love, guys.